Radio. Today we have joining us the champ, the champ, the real champ, right? Martin
The type of
Nguyen. What's going on?
nothing much, brother. How you
Um,
been? Good?
oh, for sure. You've been real good, right? Like, you just won the title. You just went to Shanghai. How was Shanghai?
Yeah, Shanghai was beautiful, man. Fucking everything over there was awesome, eh? ONE FC flew me out, VIP the event with Brendan Vera, bro, and yeah, it was good to meet him in person, even though he was going for Marat. But I guess everyone was, and yeah, no, it was good, man. It was good, good time to spend with my wife over there. And it was pretty cool.
How is it? How's the treatment now that you're the champion compared to, you were the title contender and you were the one of the top contenders. Now you're the champion. What's the treatment been like?
Treatment's been the same, bro. To be honest, all the ONE FC staff, man, they're top notch. Full respect to them, man. They go through a lot backstage and you know, freaking on fight night. But yeah, no, everything's the same, bro. They respect me, I respect them. They have to do their job, and I got a job to do as well. So, but yeah, they're just a new word that's thrown in there every time they approach me now as champ.
Since you are the champion, and everybody's calling you the champ, you have to do more media, right?
Definitely.
How you handling
Media
that?
calls. Yeah, it's good, man. It's not something I'm not used to. So media is media. You gotta talk what's on your mind, and yeah, talk to a whole lot of people, talk a lot of shit as well. So
Well, there's more eyes on you now. Like you have a target. The target's on you. So
massive target on my back.
yeah, massive target. And you, after the fight, I read somewhere, I heard somewhere that you were planning on maybe moving down. So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about it?
I want to know, like, what makes you feel like you want to move down?
What makes me feel why I wanna move down is as I've been saying to everyone, man, fight week I was 68 kilos. Man, what's another 2 kilos, If I can get my diet and my training right, yeah, obviously I'm fighting at my walk around weight. There's no special diet. I'm eating the right foods, but it's not anything too special. I'm still having my cheat meals here and there. If I get everything right and my training right, and um, do everything step by step, I think I can get down to 66, man. No problem. And
So have you been walking around at 68 the whole time, like almost every
well,
fight?
I think before I left to Malaysia, I was man, I was struggling. I was stuck on 70.5, and reading on my contract, I was like, shit, there's no allowance. I'm gonna lose this 200 grams from. I'm fully hydrated, but it's not going below 70.5. And I had my meals, and I'll go up to 71 kilos. I'll walk around and do my training, and I'm back down to 70.5. So I was I was stuck there. Um, but yeah, as soon as I got over to Malaysia with the humidity and everything, I'd wake up, I'd train, I'd drink a whole lot of water, and after training and everything, I'd jump on the scales after rehydrating, and I was 68 kilos, and I was like, shit, man, we're gonna go breakfast, and oh, like before, buffet is the main thing for me, before I go over to any country, I message like the boys over there. I'm like, man, how's the food? Is the food good? And yeah, the buffet is the main thing. So when I messaged them, they said buffet's all right, man. It's pretty good over here. So the food is the main thing for me. So training in the morning, I was 68 kilos. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, man, I want to fucking go eat. So after
What's
I
your
ate, I fill up my belly. I'd eat 2 plates, and I weighed in. I think it was 69.2. So it was pretty cool.
So what are your go-to foods, like when you cheat and stuff like that?
Burgers, pizzas,
The normal stuff.
bread. I'm fucking man. I'm a heavy eater on bread too. So just all the carby shit, man.
Of course, like normal.
Make me all feel like shit and make me want to vomit afterwards, and all that normal shit. So
For sure. Um
yeah.
Now do you follow kind of, like you said that, you're at 68 kilos, you're not like making too many sacrifices on your diet. Do you have like a meal plan that you follow?
Not really, bro. To be honest, my wife cooks my meals. Just the last 2 weeks of that fight camp, I had my mate's company, Power Mills, jump on board, and they were just making um just taking the stress off my wife. She's getting the kids ready for school, and it's hard to cook. So they jumped on board. They just provided me the meals just to keep intact. But man, it was nothing too special, to be honest, man.
Even with like your fight with Yokota and Lee, were you around that weight also?
I was about 69 kilos, yeah.
Damn, that's pretty
Yeah, man.
good.
Come fight week, I don't know. It's after you hit that spot and you can't lose anymore. Um, Man, I was at fight week. I was just, where the hell did this weight go? Like, I lost like a kilo flying over there, and walking around, and then waking up with the humidity, and yeah, man, it's fucking pretty awesome, man.
Now, we got the weight thing out the way. Now, the guy that you want to fight, Bibiano, right? He's, he's a, hardcore veteran. I don't know if he's legend status, but he has major wins. He's been a champion for a long time. It is a matchup that is very interesting.
It makes sense, bro. But yeah, as on the cards as well, I'll probably be the biggest underdog, maybe 10-1 again. But you never say never when it comes to me. I was 10-1 against Gafurov, and look what happened.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, so I think it'll be an exciting fight, to be honest. When I used to cut weight, actually cutting weight down to 65, I actually felt like I performed a bit better, but like I had a bit more speed. But I mean, with the weight that I am now, like when I used to rehydrate, it used to be the same thing, man. So just less stress of cutting weight.
Were you a person that cut a lot of weight in the past, or were you always kind of, around the weight that you needed to be?
Man, that fight with the first fight with Gafurov, I only cut like it was like 1.5 or 1.4 kgs in a sauna. No, we done Epsom salt, and I done like 2 baths, and I was on weight already. So nah, man, come fight time, even my time with Rocky, and when I fought Rocky, Gafurov, Edward Kelly, when I used to cut weight, it was only like absolute max, probably 1.8.
Oh, that's
So it wasn't
nothing,
that
man.
much. It was
Yeah.
nothing, man, to be honest. But getting down to that 61 kilo mark was like a big struggle. Like I always thought of it. I was like, I can't get down to that. I'm already struggling losing 1.8 kilos to freaking. I can't get down to that with that weight class. And everyone was telling me you should be at that weight class. I was like, nah, I'm happy at featherweight, so I'm
You're one
comfortable,
of those
man.
guys. To me, it's kind of like a Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar, he didn't cut much weight to, make the lightweight division, and he became a champion. He was dominating the legends. He was doing everything. Even to this day, he's a great fighter, right? And like
Man,
you're building yourself up, into that situation where you don't have to cut weight. You're actually fighting guys, let's say, bigger than you, right? Because
fucking everyone's bigger than me,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
Gafurov looked much bigger than you in the cage.
yeah, you know what? In the cage, I don't know. Maybe it's because it was, I don't know, maybe skinnier. I don't know, looking from afar, I'm like, man, this guy's fucking huge. But when I stood up right next to him, like facing off, I was like, why is it like you don't look as big as when you're fucking like 10 meters away? I don't know, man. But yeah, all fight week, I'm like, man, this guy's actually tall. He's actually big. And then when it come to rehearsals and face-offs, I was like, hold on a minute, it's not that big. And when it come to a fight, I was like, hold on a minute, it's not that big. But then, yeah, I don't know. My mind was playing tricks on me.
Maybe
All
it's
fight
like a
week.
chick, like when you see a girl from a far away, they look really big, and then they get close, they're not that
Oh,
tall.
man. If only, man. If only.
Yeah. Let's go back to that first fight against Gafurov, because to me that kind of set up everything for you, right? That first one, late notice. Was it a week's notice, that fight?
Nah, man. A day and a half.
Okay, a day and a half. Okay, I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
I got that mixed up. Um,
I flew over there to fight Bashir, I
Mm-hmm.
got ready for Bashir. Like the whole plan with Bashir was just take him down, ground and pound, look for a sub. I don't know. That was drilled into my head. Just let's work ground with Bashir because he comes out all guns blazing. So that was the game plan with him. And man, I was so focused on Bashir. I was like, where is he? I want to lock my eyes onto him. And then the day before actual weight cutting, it was like I think it was like 7 or 7:30 p.m. I get a call from Matt Hume, man. You guys come down to the conference room. So I went down there. I was like, fuck, here we go. Am I in trouble? Or, this is the first time I ever got called down by like a full executive. Um, and he goes, oh, would you be willing to step up to the plate because Jademba can't make it to the country, visa issues or whatever it was. And I was like, holy shit, I'm versing Marat. And I was like, he just came off like, what is that, knockout sub of Rob Laceda. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, man, it's pretty big name that he's just taken out. But I was like, you know what? I'll take it, man. If Bashir was in that spot, he would take it as well. I felt bad for him because he had no fight and he rocked up, trained 8 weeks. But if he was in my position, he would do the same thing. So I took the fight, man. And yeah, it went downhill, man.
It is what it is, man. It went down
It
the
is
way
what
it
it
went
is.
down. But now after that fight, what's your mentality? Go back to the mentality that you have. You're going home. How do you feel? It's your first loss in your career. It was for the
Fuck,
title too at the same time on a days and
yeah.
a half notice. How you
And
feeling at that moment?
bro, I wanted to break down. Fucking hell, first loss, undefeated. Um, up until that loss, and I was like, what the fuck? I had a teammate around me. I had one of my ex coaches, and I was just like, fuck, these guys are like full manly man, and I'm just like, fuck, what the fuck just happened? And everything happened so quick, bro, and just all emotions were running through me. I was like, I felt like I wanted to break down, and yeah, I just got back, and you know what, family, man, I just hung out with family the whole time. I took about a week off training, and I came straight back, and I was messaging with one. I was messaging one, and they got me a fight straight away with Edward Kelly on the next card, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna take it." And all those emotions, family time made me realize how to control them and go from there.
So it was just like ice cold after that.
Fuck, man, I was cold as man. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna fucking do this to him," and that's it. This is the type of fighter he was, and I didn't care. And this is what I'm gonna do. And
Did you
yeah,
have your
that was
eyes? Did you have your eyes set on Gafurov? Were you planning on fighting him in the future, or was that
I
kind of
was.
that fight what kind of a shock to you, or was it kind of something that you didn't expect?
It was a huge shock to me, man. But what shocked me was how easy I got that takedown. But after I over submitted after he got up straight away and how strong he was when he grabbed my back, and I wasn't planning on all back control and all the freaking subs that he has. I was just like, just take this guy down, land top control, and rain elbows or something like. We'll just train for Bashir, and we just pretended he was Bashir, and that's what we were doing at the back, and that's what I did with him. Knowing he was a like full legit BJJ guy, fucking. But I didn't care. I was like, land on top position, a few elbows would change him into a white belt and put him in panic mode. But obviously, it didn't work that way. But yeah, coming off that fight, man, I was emotional, and then it just turned flat. I was like, all right, I'm over the emotions. I want to get back into fighting. I knew he had an advantage against Jadamba when it came to that title. Obviously with his ground game and
Mm.
shit against a striker. And I kind of knew he had an advantage of winning. So after that fight with Edward Kelly, I was just, I'm not calling him out. I just said, I hope you win, but I'm coming for you to redeem that loss. But, yeah, I was like watching Caged, my one of the documentaries that SBS done over here, bro. And when they replayed that, like I had Marat, I'm coming for you. I was like 2 years on. It was so surreal that I'm actually fighting this guy again.
Yeah, that's
So it's pretty.
that's pretty crazy. I think I heard that I'm coming for you like echoing somewhere. I don't know. I remember some like highlight video of you, and then the I'm coming for you like echoing somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was kind of scary a little bit. If Marat,
it was
I
like
don't know
I
if
knew. I
Marat
was like I
speaks
came
much
from
English.
the
Does he speak English? Marat?
Marat.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Yeah, fucking what's his name? His manager. the bantamweight fighter. He had to translate for him because obviously he walked out of the cage, as everyone saw, and yeah, it was just bad sportsmanship. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Maybe that's his way of dealing with it. Um, but yeah, I seen him backstage, and I was like, you know what, man, I lost the loss. You're gonna come back stronger. We're both warriors at the end of the day, and we took photos and we shook hands and we walked our ways, you know.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of it's a trip that he gave you your first loss and he won the title for the first time, and then you gave him his first loss and you won the title for the first time. You guys are linked together forever. The third fight, it's gonna happen, don't you think?
it's gonna happen, man. I think compared to it's like when you do something for the first time, you don't know what you're gonna expect, you know. And the second time, you know what to expect, but you don't know how it's gonna happen. But the third fight, you're gonna know what's gonna happen, and you're gonna dictate that. So if there's a third fight that ever happens, it's gonna be the same result, man.
I'm
I know
pretty
what to
sure.
expect. I know what he wants, and I know what I want. I know how I'm gonna finish it. So I think it's gonna be the same result. But you know what? Who knows?
Um, when you like jumped on the cage after you knocked him out, you jumped on the cage, you did your little dabs, you
Dab dab,
hopped
suck
back,
it.
yeah, the double dab. You did the double dab, right?
Double dab, suck it. Yeah.
And then you got back onto the canvas, and you were walking towards him, but you were saying something to him. What were you
It
saying?
was everyone asks me this question, but what I was saying is I fucking told you, I was gonna do it. And the only way I was gonna win that fight was A, if a decision came my way, or B, I was gonna knock him out. And I said to myself, I said it to the commentators in the pre-fight interviews, and I said it in all my interviews. I'm gonna knock this guy out. That's the only way. That's the only victory I want. Um, Other than the decision and all that bullshit, I wanted to knock him out. And when I knocked him out, and I jumped off the cage, and I realized that I knocked him out, I just turned to him. I go, "I fucking told you. I fucking did it. I fucking told you." Like that. And then yeah, it was just so much adrenaline rushing through me. And you know what? Once I saw the kill, man, I went for
I think that's the most I've ever seen you hyped ever. I've seen a lot of your fights, and that moment right there after you finished the fight and you were like walking across that stage, it was almost kind of like, you remember when Ronda Rousey knocked that one girl out and she just walked across the stage very confidently, like
Yeah.
like she
What's
ran.
that? That Brazilian chick, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah. It was kind of like that moment when I was watching. I was like, damn, he looks like nobody could beat him now. You know
yeah,
that.
man. Nah, I was fuck, man. So much adrenaline was rushing through. After I was in like, I won. I knew I won, but then when I look back and I realized, like, fuck, I just knocked him out. Like I did what I said I was gonna do, and I was so fucking G'd up. I was like, man, I fucking told you. I fucking did it. I fucking told you like that. And yeah, then I had my BJJ coach turn around and he goes, "Oh, you did it! You did it!" I was like, "Yes, I did it." But yeah, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
it must have been a surreal experience, right? Having your
Man, I've
coaches,
been,
because how long your
fuck,
coaches have been with you from the beginning, right?
yeah, man. We're stuck with the same gym. We're stuck with the same guys. But since that, and actually, no, I just started with my striking coach when I first fought Marat. So it was just like oh, how you going? And let's train together like that. But since that loss, we bonded a lot throughout the 2 years, and you know what? He's advanced my fucking striking so much, compared to when I first started in one.
So how
It's
does
pretty
it
cool.
feel to have the guys, most of your guys that you began with, your wife is there, you win the title together, you're in the cage, you're taking pictures. How, it must be very emotional.
And oh man, it was so emotional. It was like everything was a dream come true. We had about in total it was about 15 or 16 of us that flew over. That were all highly confident. And throughout fight week it was where to put this shit. Yeah, throughout fight week it was pretty hectic, bro. It was just we were going shopping everywhere. man, we're mucking around. We're running the biggest muck in Malaysia. It was like the biggest laugh, like we were back at home, you know. And we sightseeing everywhere. And then when it comes to fight time, everyone was like, "All right, let's lock on." And it was all like we were back in Saturday sparring, locking on to each other, like we're gonna fight each other, you know. But yeah, it was, fuck, man, it was so emotional.
Have you heard anything from One Championship about a fight with Bibiano?
Like I spoke to one of the officials. Bibiano is yes on the card in the near future, but I don't want to be standing there saying, Bibiano, I want to fucking fight you right then and now. I don't want to be saying that until I know for sure I can make the weight. So I don't want to look like a dickhead and go, yeah, I'm going to fight you, everything, contract signed, and I miss weight. You know, that's my biggest fear of missing weight. So I'm always trying my best to stay on weight and trying to stay on point. But it's 6-6, man. I've never fought at 6-6 before. So I want to make sure I can make the weight or get near it. And then have 8 weeks to lose 2 kilos, whatever it is, if I get down to 68, which will be very easy from there. But yeah, I spoke to the officials at the back, and I go, look, let me get down to 68 kilos first, and then I'll do the calling out from there. And he goes, yeah, that's a better idea. But then I said to him, I want to get back in the cage, I'll defend it. I didn't care. And the only fight that makes sense in defending it, at the moment, I think will be against Boku, man.
Boku, yeah, he's legit contender right there. Yeah, he's been slaying all the dudes, the other contenders basically. So and finishing them. Good job.
His name was brought up, to be honest, and whether it's going to happen or not, before the Bibiano fight, we'll see.
You are in Australia. One Championship has not gone to Australia yet. You could be the one. You could be the one for one to take one to Australia. Is there any word on that?
There's been talks about it. I've spoken to the director. He wants to come over here, but we have to wait until the stars align before they come over here. But I think possibly even next year or the year after, it's on the cards. I mean, one's going to release a fight schedule within the next few weeks, 24 events next year.
Breaking news.
Yeah, Australia might be on the cards, and you know what? We're just going to have to wait and see.
You could defend the title one time, and then by the time they have the card in Australia, that Gafurov, you and Gafurov number 3 could be in Sydney or something. That would be crazy.
Possibility.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Before that Gafurov fight in like the third trilogy, I'd like to see him get back in the winning columns first. You know what I mean? Like, he made me wait 4 fights, 2 years for me to get my rematch. So I'd want to see him at least fight another top contender before trying to get his bet. But
that's only fair because he, like
fair, you can't get a rematch off a losing streak, man. It's not in the UFC, man. You got to work for your shit.
Yeah, and it's not like it was a close fight or something like that anyways.
If he lost by decision or split decision, oh, man, there has to be one next week, But, man, you got to knock the fuck out. You got to work your way back up now, man. Like,
what do you say to all those people that, to me, when I watched the knockout, I say that you knocked him out with one punch, and then you woke him back up with the second punch. But some people are saying that he wasn't really knocked out. What do you say about that?
Man, if you watch that what is it, that 10-second frame, I hit him with that the overhand. He dropped. I didn't think he was out. The second punch I hit him with, he went limp. The third and fourth punch, he woke up. If whoever's watching this, if you watch it, first punch, he got knocked down. I wouldn't say he was out because he braced himself and his elbow locked and looked fucking nasty as shit. Second punch, he went limp. I personally think he went limp. He face planted. Third, fourth punch, he woke up, curling back up, and you know what? It's only a matter of time before the ref jumps in after that.
So the second punch, he face planted after the second punch?
Yeah. So the first punch I hit him with, he like kind of fell in that awkward position, but the
Oh.
second punch is what made him face plant and go limp, and then third and fourth punch he woke up.
I was confused with the first and second punch. I thought the first punch he face planted.
Nah.
Yeah.
Look, it kind of looked like the way he was falling, but yeah, watching it again, I can watch it all day. You know, it's fucking sweet 10-second frame, man. First punch shocked him, rocked him, whatever you want to call it. Second punch put him out. Third and fourth punch woke him up.
um,
But man, once you face plant in this game, man, that's definitely you're not defending yourself, man. So you done the right job in stepping in. You know, if that happened to me, man, I wouldn't be complaining, to be honest. If I face planted,
of course
it
not.
happened so quick, but you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, I bet you he's watching that video too. Like, how did that shit happen? Like,
It happened so quick, man. And that 20-second frame, he will never get back, man, because he was out. I know it for sure.
yeah. Um, Now, who else other than Boku? Who else do you see in the featherweight division as like a contender that you kind of keep your eye on? Like, hey, this guy, he might be a challenger for my belt. Who's some of those guys?
I haven't looked that far, to be honest.
Mhm.
The only person I know that's actually been on a consistent winning streak is Boku. You know, so he was on a 3-fight winning streak prior his loss to Jademba, and then now he's on a 2-fight winning streak, and he's taking out guys that are like legit contenders, man. Like fuck, Timothy Nasukin, that happened. That was a nasty accident.
Mhm.
Eric Kelly, he's taken out. The times before that, he's fought like up and comers and legit contenders who were on winning streaks. So Boku was the only guy that I see at the moment that actually deserves it. If Jadamba fought on that Shanghai card, then I would say and he won that one, then I would say maybe he's another person because windows open up for him. But you know what? I haven't looked that far in the featherweight division past Boku, who actually makes sense.
So you're planning on fighting before the end of the year.
That's the plan, man. That's the
So,
plan. But we never know what's gonna happen.
all right. I I interviewed Ev Ting for an article, and he wants to fight. He's beating the guys. He just lost the title fight, and he says he's willing to do anything. Basically, move up in weight, move down in weight. He's ready to fight. And your name got brought up. What do you think of a potential fight between you and Ev? I know you guys are cool and everything, so but I want to hear your side of it.
Man, Ev's a cool guy, man. I respect him a lot, and you know what? He's one of my favorite fighters to actually watch because he's actually exciting to watch. But in terms of a fight, I don't think. Look, Ev's a good fighter. He fights at welterweight actual weight,
Mhm.
but they call it the lightweight division. That's 77 kilos, man. 7 kilos is a whole lot of kilos to lose, and to be walking around at 70 kilos, man, that's fucking hard. I'm telling
Mhm.
you. And but that's natural for me. But for him, I kind of think that he walks at a higher weight, and it's going to be much more work and much harder for him to be walking around at 70 kilos. I'd like to see him maybe have a fight at 70 kilos, and if it's all legit and makes sense, then you know what, let's fight. We'll put on a show for you guys, and you know what, it is what it is. We'll have a beer afterwards. But in terms of him fighting me straight away, I personally don't think he can make the weight. But it's only up to him to prove us all wrong. So
For sure. Um, Now they just announced that Ben Askren's gonna fight his teammate Shinya Aoki. What do you think about that matchup?
um, Ben's a fucking machine, man. He's a fucking absolute machine when it comes to wrestling. Um, I don't like it, to be honest. I don't like it. I'd rather, man. I'll pay money. I didn't give a shit. I'll pay money. I'll even fly over there if it was Ben versus Hodger Gracie. That would have
Oh,
been a more interesting fight to watch. But Shinya Aoki and Ben Askren, I don't know, man. Yes, two legends, two big names, big super fight, but it just doesn't work for me, man. Like it just doesn't feel like one of those oh, it's a Conor McGregor versus fucking Mayweather fight, or it doesn't give that spark to me to actually want to watch it. I think a Roger Gracie and a Ben Askren fight would have been like probably one of the biggest fights of the year, but we never know.
Maybe that might happen. You never know, because that
Man,
fight might not even
I was
happen.
hoping for that to happen. When they said, man, Jim versus Jim, I was like, oh, man, Roger Gracie versus freaking Ben Askren. But then when I seen Shinyan's name, I was like, nah, Ben's going to dominate, man. Ben's a
Oh
fucking
yeah,
machine.
he
He's a
is.
fucking
He is a
machine.
machine. He is.
Yeah.
It's hard to see anybody really beating him.
I don't think
Everybody
anyone will.
wants Sapo. Everybody wants Sapo to get his chance one more time, but he lost to Sebastian, so he kind of lost that chance, right?
Yeah, he really did, yeah, to be honest.
Yeah, and
That would have been a
Sapo
good
was still good.
matchup, but you can't really, as I said, you can't really go losing streak versus
For sure.
winning streak.
Now going back to like the guys that you have beaten, you beat, Edward Kelly, knocked him out. Kai Wen Lee, he's signed to the UFC now, from what I
He's
heard.
not.
Oh, he's
He's
not.
still at one.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's still at one.
I was speaking to the Chinese correspondent, Vaughn, and apparently his manager is hard to deal with. I don't know. I just manage my own shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently his manager's hard to deal with. But he's still signed with one, and they're I think in negotiations of bring another contract or whatever in for him. But he's not signed in the UFC. But
Okay.
I personally thought he was as well with the photos and everything he's posting, but he's not.
Yeah, it's a little trickery going on or something, huh? A little.
It is probably. That's probably his way of bargaining. Like, you either get me now, or I won't sign the contract, and I'll go fight over here, or here's what it is. He's a good fighter, man.
Yeah, whatever. You knocked his ass out. You went and subbed Christian Lee when Christian Lee was supposed to be the next great hype. Like you've had like your back, like people doubting you many times, and every time,
Pinned against the wall every single time.
yeah, it's crazy. Like
That doesn't matter. I
especially
don't
the
care,
Lee
man. I
fight.
don't care.
I think people forgot what you did before the Lee fight,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh,
I
Lee's gonna."
personally think as well, like, he's gonna knock me out. I think even Christian Lee believed that hype, but as a fighter, you would anyway. But yeah, man, he underestimated me, man. You don't do that when it comes to a fighter. I don't. Although I wanted to knock Gafurov out, I didn't underestimate that I was gonna get it or not. I was just, you don't underestimate a fighter, bro. So
You just let
it's
it
just that
happen.
martial artist respect. Anything can happen in the fight. And yeah,
And
um,
and then
he
and then
underestimated
you
me.
went and knocked out Yokota, who is, pretty pretty big win, I think, in your career, where you knocked him out. And then after that, it was the beginning of this year, right? You beat him.
Yeah, I beat Yokota January 18th.
Remember? And then after you beat him, I contacted you. And I said, "Hey, Martin, they're saying that you might, you're like the top contender. You did lose like a few fights ago, but you're like on to me at that time, the biggest winning streak, knocking everybody out, subbing at people, first round, easy work. You're putting it easy work, basically. You have to get the shot, right? You have to
Yeah,
get the shot.
it kind of made sense, but I didn't. With one FC, you never know, man. You never know. And from what I was told, apparently no one wanted to fight Gafurov. They were finding it hard to find opponents for him, and everyone didn't want to fight him. And I was the only one that was on a streak that actually made kind of sense, redeemed my loss, kind of good fight. But you know what? Everyone was writing me off, and it is what it is. But yeah, it happened, man.
Yeah, during a press conference, like the one FC or one championship officials were kind of like split on you. Like one side was like saying, "Hey, he probably deserves it." The other side was like, "I don't know if he deserves it." And then
Yeah,
8 months later, you're the champ.
that's it, man.
That's crazy to me. Like how the officials can be split, and then all of a sudden you get your shot, and you're the champ, and now they can't say anything. It's almost like they kind of have to respect you a little bit more.
I did win a bit more respect points there, but you know what? I still got a lot more to prove, man. I know as a champion, I'm not the best fighter out there. I still got a lot more to learn. And that's what makes it exciting, man. Like, I can fight like this, and I can work. I can do everything as a normal guy, and you have so much more to learn, and a better person to become as well. So that's what makes my journey from now on in much more exciting. So can't wait for it, man.
Um, before I let you go, one last question about
Yeah,
Australia, because right now Australia is blowing up, man. Like MMA is huge. Like you guys are pumping out fighters left and right. You got uh uh oh, Robert Whitaker.
Robert Whitaker, fuck
Yeah,
man,
he's the
that guy,
champ. You know,
he's a gun.
you're the champ. You know, you got like Volkanovski. I think Volkanovski, he could possibly be the champ in the future in the UFC. You
I
know,
think he would as well, to be honest.
yeah, many guys. You know, legit guys coming out. What are you guys eating over there?
Man, we're eating Macca's, Burger King, which is Hungry Jack's over here. Pizza, man, anything. All us fighters are big eaters when it comes to eating over here. But yeah, when it comes to heads down training, I think all those guys are full-time trainers, eh?
Mhm.
Volkanovski, he trains out of Tiger Muay Thai, and Rob Whitaker, they can all afford to, man. Man, all beasts at the I trained a few sessions with them both actually. Back in, was it 2 years ago when I first started with one, and man, I got fucking dominated by the both of them. So they were like a kind of a big motivation for me to actually step it up and where I wanted to be as well. So yeah, freaking awesome to see him doing well, man.
I know they're probably vice versa with you. You know, they see you win the title, and you're just another guy from the same area, representing the
Exactly.
country. And yeah, man, it was good talking to you, man. I know you busy. You got kids, you got a wife, you got to train, you got a job. But thanks for your time, Barton.
Thanks, John, bro.
All right, man.